Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here today. Look, if you're the kind of person who loves knowing exactly how your body ticks on a microscopic level, well, you're in for a treat. Today, we're pulling information straight from the Medline Plus Medical Encyclopedia to shine a huge spotlight on two of the most hardworking, behind-the-scenes heroes in our biology, pantothenic acid and biotin. Now, they might not grab the flashy headlines like vitamin C or vitamin D do, but make no mistake, this dynamic duo is absolutely essential for keeping your biological engine running smoothly. We're going to break down exactly what they do, where you can easily find them, and why they matter so much to your daily health. Okay, let's dive right into this, and I want to kick things off by asking you a direct question. What actually happens to the vitamins you consume but don't immediately need? Think about it for a second. You eat this incredibly nutrient-packed meal, but your body only requires a certain amount at that exact moment. Does your body hoard the leftovers like a squirrel preparing for winter, or does it do something else entirely? Well, the answer lies in the fact that both of our unsung heroes today are what we call water-soluble vitamins. So it's a literal use it or lose it kind of situation. Your body simply cannot store large amounts of these nutrients. It doesn't build a massive vault to save them for next year. Instead, if your body can't use the whole amount of the vitamin you just ate, that excess is literally flushed down the drain. It leaves your body right through your urine. Now, your body's smart. It does keep a very small temporary reserve on hand, but because that reserve is so tiny and constantly being used up, you need a regular, consistent intake to maintain it. You've got to keep that supply chain moving. To keep things super clear today, here is our roadmap for the explainer. First, meet the unsung B vitamins. Second, fueling your body's engine. Third, finding your daily dose. Fourth, the rare risks of deficiency. And finally, number 5, your daily vitamin checklist. All right, Chapter 1. Meet the unsung B vitamins. Let's keep this incredibly simple right out of the gate. Whenever you hear the scientific name pantothenic acid, I want you to immediately think vitamin B5. That's it. And when you hear biotin, you are looking at vitamin B7. They're part of the famous B vitamin family, the group that's super well known for energy and metabolism. So B5 is pantothenic acid and B7 is biotin. Lock those pairings into your memory as we keep moving. Which brings us right to section 2, fueling your body's engine. And this brilliantly illustrates how the labor is divided up inside your cells. Both B5 and B7 share some pretty massive jobs. They are both absolutely required for physical growth. They are essential for metabolism, which is just the crucial process of breaking down the food you eat and turning it into actual energy you can use, and they both work right there on the factory floor, making fatty acids. But pantothenic acid, B5, brings a few bonus functions to the table. It plays a unique role in producing hormones and cholesterol, and it specifically helps convert a substance called pyruvate, which is basically a critical key that unlocks your metabolic pathways. So together, they are absolute metabolic powerhouses, with B5 pulling just a little extra weight in the hormone department. Moving right along to section 3, finding your daily dose. I want you to picture an incredibly vibrant, appetizing plate of food right now. The great news here is that almost all plant and animal-based foods contain varying amounts of pantothenic acid, and biotin is widely available too. If you prefer animal proteins, you're looking at things like eggs, milk, poultry, pork, and organ meats like liver and kidney. But hey, if you prefer plants, you're in luck. You can build an amazing meal out of avocados, broccoli, legumes, lentils, mushrooms, nuts, and whole grain cereals. It's just a remarkably diverse menu that ensures we have plenty of opportunities to restock those biological shelves. Now, what's really interesting about this is the overlap. If you want to be incredibly efficient with your diet, you have ultimate superfoods available to you. These 4 items right here, milk, yeast, organ meats, and legumes, pack a serious punch because they are explicitly listed as excellent sources of both vitamin B5 and vitamin B7. So a hearty bowl of lentil soup or a glass of milk is literally giving you a 2-for-1 metabolic boost. But hold on, we do need to pause for just a moment. The Medline Plus source gives us a very crucial warning that we simply cannot ignore. Food processing can cause a significant loss of pantothenic acid. Basically, the closer the food is to its natural state, the more B5 it retains. When foods are heavily processed, refined, or altered in a factory, that vital, fragile, water-soluble nutrient can easily be stripped away or destroyed. It is a really strong, scientifically backed argument for prioritizing whole, unprocessed meals whenever you possibly can. Okay, let's talk about their kryptonite in section 4, the rare risks of deficiency. Now, true deficiency in either of these vitamins is very rare, precisely because they are found in so many different types of food. But when a lack does occur, the side effects are remarkably distinct. Notice the clear contrast here. If you lack vitamin B5, the primary symptom is paresthesia. That's a strange tingling feeling in your feet. It's essentially a neurological signal that something is off. On the other hand, a lack of biotin, B7, presents very differently. It manifests as muscle pain and heavily impacts your exterior. Skin rashes, dermatitis, brittle nails, and hair loss. It can even cause glossitis, which is a really painful swelling of the tongue. So one primarily triggers a tingling nerve sensation, while the other deeply affects your muscles, skin, and hair. So you might be thinking, well, if a deficiency is bad, what if I accidentally eat way too much? This is a fantastic testament to the resilience of the human body. Remember, these are water-soluble. For B5, taking incredibly large doses doesn't cause severe toxicity. It might just leave you with a bout of diarrhea as your body basically says, nope, too much, and rushes to expel it. And biotin? Biotin is truly remarkable here. According to the data, there are absolutely zero known toxic symptoms from taking too much biotin. None. You really can't overdo it. Your body simply takes exactly what it needs for the day and safely washes the rest away. Let's wrap things up with your personal user manual in Section 5, your daily vitamin checklist. To understand the numbers we're about to see, we first need to briefly demystify a piece of medical jargon used by the experts. You'll often see the term adequate intake, or AI. This is a specific metric they use when there isn't quite enough broad evidence to establish a strict recommended dietary allowance. Instead, the adequate intake is a carefully set estimate that experts confidently believe ensures you are getting enough nutrition to stay perfectly healthy. So, the crucial point is, for pantothenic acid, vitamin B5, adults aged 14 and older need just 5 milligrams a day. Guys, that is a tiny amount. Just 5 milligrams keeps your hormone production and metabolic pathways functioning beautifully. And hey, if you thought 5 milligrams was small, look at biotin. For adults 19 and older, the adequate intake is a micro amount, exactly 30 micrograms a day. Not milligrams, micrograms. It's a microscopic contribution that single-handedly secures your hair, skin, and metabolism. However, there is some nuance here. Age and major life events definitely shift these targets. As you might expect, infants and kids need incrementally less as they grow, but look at what happens during pregnancy and breastfeeding. The body is essentially doing double the work, so it needs extra fuel. Pregnant women need 6 milligrams of B5, though their biotin needs stay at 30 micrograms. But for lactating women, the demands are the highest of all, 7 milligrams of B5 and 35 micrograms of biotin per day. Always remember to check in with your healthcare provider to match these numbers perfectly to your specific life stage. Let's move to our conclusion and see how this all builds into one final takeaway. We've talked about milligrams and micrograms, paresthesia, and pyruvate today, but honestly, the most effective health strategy is incredibly simple. To quote the Medline Plus encyclopedia directly, the best way to get the daily requirement of essential vitamins is to eat a balanced diet that contains a variety of foods. You don't necessarily need to be a mathematician at the dinner table, you just need variety. Which brings us to the end of our explainer today. You now know exactly how pantothenic acid and biotin keep your metabolic engine firing and why a diverse whole food diet is literally your best friend. So I'll leave you with one final thought to ponder as you plan out your next meal. Are these unsung heroes on your plate tonight? Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep eating well, and I will see you next time.